In this section, we're going to start talking about fractions and mixed numbers. And we're going to begin with some vocabulary that we have here. When we have a fraction, there are two parts to that fraction. The numerator, which is the number that is in the top of the fraction, and the denominator, which is the number that is in the bottom of the fraction. I know we'd rather use the words top and bottom, but we should get used to that vocabulary of numerator and denominator because it's used exclusively in mathematics. Now, a proper fraction is one in which the numerator is less than the denominator. 3/4, for example, here is a proper fraction because 3 is less than 4. Improper fractions, most people think it's only when the numerator is larger, such as in 5/3. That is an improper fraction, but a fraction such as 4/4, where the numerator and the denominator are the same, is also considered to be an improper fraction. Now, a mixed number is what you get when you combine a whole number and a fraction number together. So let's say we have 4 and 1/2. Normally in algebra classes, whenever you put two things next to each other, you multiply. But in this case, this is going to represent 4 plus 1/2. And for that reason, we're actually not going to use mixed numbers very much when we move on to algebra classes. Pretty much only when we are interpreting answers to word problems. We will prefer to have an improper form of a mixed number. So if we have a number such as 2 3/5 that we want to convert from a mixed number into an improper fraction form, what we would do is we would take this 5 in the denominator, multiply it by 2, so 5 times 2, and then we would add the 3 on. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 3 would give us a numerator of 13, and then we would put that over the original denominator here, 5. Now this can be checked by going in the opposite direction. If you want to turn an improper fraction into a mixed number, then you would take the 13, divide it by 5 in this case. It goes in 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. We subtract and get 3. And instead of writing R3, we say and 3/5. So long division allows you to take an improper fraction and put it into mixed number form. And when you have a mixed number that you want to switch into an improper fraction, you start with that denominator, 5, multiply by the large number on the side, 2, which is 10, and then add that numerator, 3, on to get 13. Let's do that one more time. Let's say we have 1 4/5. We take the 5 in the denominator, multiply it by 1 to get 5 still, add the 4 on to get 9, and the original denominator of 5 becomes the denominator of that improper fraction. Now, I'm not a super big fan of the number line, but it is important that we understand how it works so that we can plot mixed numbers on this number line. Let's say we wanted to plot the number 1 2/5 on the number line. Well, it's larger than 1 because this represents 1 plus 2/5. So we would basically take the region or the interval from 1 to 2 and split it up into 5 equal parts. And then we would move forward from the 1, 2 of those 5 equal parts, and we could place the dot right there. It gets a little bit more challenging when you have a number like 2 1/17. We don't want to take this region between 2 and 3 and break it up into 17 pieces. That would be a little bit challenging to do with our eyes, but you would know that that would be just a smidgen to the right of 2.